Alright class, I just wanted to throw together a quick video for you here, just taking things a little bit further on as far as your knowledge on programming. It's not related to the class directly as far as, it's not pseudocode we're going to be talking about. Just another way to work with JavaScript. It's not a JavaScript class, but hopefully you'll enjoy knowing a little bit more about JavaScript. So far in our classes, for the most part, whenever we want to display a message, we've been either doing an alert or document.write and writing out a single message. But that's not typically how JavaScript interacts with web pages. So I just thought I'd show you real quick how you can modify the program we wrote today, which is just a short little program that calculates how many calories are burned, and the idea of the class or the project itself was to be able to work with a for loop. So let me show you how you can modify this so that it looks like, like you would normally work with a program. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and run this real quick so you can see the current output. And open the default viewer. You see currently, I changed the output a little bit. It says current counter equals 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And that's essentially what we were doing. But we did do a little bit more. Let's just go ahead and output the right stuff here. So we're going to just say after counter minutes you burned calories period, and let's throw a semicolon after that. Alright, and that's just fixing the alert statement here. So I'll say that. Now you'll see that the output shows after 10 minutes 39 calories, and 15 minutes 58.5 calories, and so forth. And that's just one way of putting out data, but it's not the ideal way. So let's explore a better way. First of all, JavaScript is a language that interacts with web pages, and so HTML. And so with JavaScript, you can control a browser, you can control everything on a web page. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw something into our web page. Currently, we just have some JavaScript here. And in a regular web page, there would be a whole bunch of header information here that we should include. This is just a quick intro, so I'm not including it here. But we need to give our script a way of communicating with the HTML. And so what we're going to do is create something on the HTML side of things that we can then create a connection to so we can communicate. In other words, we can take information from our program, our script, and put it on the screen on the HTML page. So just follow along here. I'm going to say div and then ID equals, and then a quote. I'm just going to call it target. You can call it anything, just obviously making it something that makes sense. And let's do a closing div. And this is just some HTML. If you're not familiar with HTML yet, a div stands for division. It's just a way of dividing out your page into different sections. The ID is going to give us a way of targeting this particular div. In other words, in our code here, we need to have some way of communicating with the HTML, and we're going to do that by using this target. And one of the reasons you need to target specific things is typically a web page is going to have multiple divs and other items on it, and so you're going to want to target different things differently. And so by using the ID here, we can target this specific div, whereas this one we'd have to use the word target to in order to access that one. Alright, back to the story. So if you follow along, do that above this script tag here. So you have your script tag somewhere above there. Enter this information. Alright, now dropping down into our script. The way we originally had it set up, if you look at our pseudocode here, this display statement, what we were doing to display the data was using an alert right here. Right? So we're alerting the data to the page. Well, there's another way we can display it, and that's what we're getting ready to do. And so we're still following the pseudocode is essentially what I'm trying to say. It's just when we get to this line where it says display, we're doing it in a different way than we have been. Instead of alerting, we're actually going to print it to the page. So if you just follow along here with me real quick, first we're going to create a variable here, and I'm just going to call it target. Again, you can call it anything, just make it make sense. I'm going to set it equal to, and the spelling of this is very important. So let me type it out. I'll discuss it. So document, the word document, dot get lowercase element by ID. Right? And then we're going to put a single or double quote, doesn't matter, and then the word target. Right? And then a semicolon there. What this is saying is go into this document, in other words, look into this web page, and on this web page, go get me an element that has an ID of target. Right? So essentially what it's saying is look up here into this HTML and find me something that has an ID that reads target, and that's right there. So this right here, this line 18, is creating a connection to line 2 here. So now when we want to output information, we can tell it to send it here. Right? So instead of having to do an alert, and that's what we're getting ready to do next. The only other thing we really need to change is down here in the body of our for loop. What we're going to do is erase this alert all the way through that opening parenthesis, and then come on the end here and remove that closing parenthesis. We're not going to need those. We do need to add something different, but we don't need those. All right, so back into your code here. I'm on line 22 at the very beginning. So I went back, my cursor's here right before the quote before the word after. And we're going to say target, spell it right, target dot inner HTML. All right, inner HTML, all in words. You gotta spell it like this. So uppercase HTML, lowercase the word inner, and then a plus sign and an equal sign. No space in between that plus and equal sign. What this is doing is every time through this loop, it's going to write something to the screen. So the first time through, it'll say after 10 minutes you burned 39 calories, and then it's going to loop again, and by having this plus sign here, it's going to add to that information. So let's go ahead and save this and run it, and you'll see there's going to be an issue, and I'll show you how to fix that issue. So let's go ahead and just save it there. Again, make sure your floppy disk is not showing blue, and then just refresh your page, and you'll see it printed out everything I wanted it to print out. It says after 10 minutes you burned 39 calories, after 15 minutes you burned 58.5, and so forth. The only problem here is obviously it's all one line after another. So what we need to do is give our computer an instruction to go to the next line. So if we come down here again to line 22, just come all the way to the end here, still inside that closing double quote. So it says quote space calories period. Right about there, just do a angle bracket, the letters BR, a space, a forward slash, and then a closing angle bracket. This is just HTML that means line return or line break. It means just go to the next line. And so now if we save this and refresh our page, now you'll see it's printed out each one of those instructions or calorie calculations, 10 minutes, 39 calories, 15 minutes, and so forth. And so I just wanted to share this with you. It's just the more appropriate way of outputting data when you're using JavaScript and HTML. And usually we're pressed for time in the class, so I don't usually do it this way. But I just wanted to share that with you and expand your knowledge of JavaScript. Hope you enjoy it, and let me know if you have any questions.